if you look at the figures in Nigeria, you would see a certain clear line that if the APC, if the PDP and the Labour Party had come together, most likely, and I say most likely because it's analysis, we need to satisfy the basis of all things being equal. We don't know whether all things were going to be equal, but if you look at just adding the figures, which is non-scientific, I have to say, just adding the figures, you will suggest that perhaps if they had come together as they did in 2019. So this is a poster of Atiku. It says, let's get Nigeria working again. Later on, Donald Trump was talking about that earlier. So I think they picked it from Donald Trump's line. Let's get Nigeria working again. It's Atiku Abubakar and Peter Obi. This is the 2019 flyer of their political party on the left of your screen. Now look at the results on the left of your screen. You see it. In that election, APC, which is the ruling party, won 19 seats. This is Muhammadu Buhari at the time. At that time, 55.60% of the votes was garnered by APC. Then in PDP, which is the group that we are talking about, Peter Obi and Atiku Abubakar, both of them got 17 seats together, including the Abuja, the FCT. They won 11 votes and got 41.22%. Okay, now they decided to split up in this particular election. And when they decided to split up, this is what you got. So election 2023 results are as follows. They got Bola Tinubu to slip in, the old man they call him, 70-year-old old man they call him. Bola Tinubu slips in with 8.7% of the votes. Atiku Abubakar is gaining 6.9 and Peter Obi is gaining 6.1. Now Peter Obi is the revelation of the election. So if you look at the addition here, if you do Atiku plus Obi, they get 13 million. So maybe the real question for the Nigerian people is not so much that politics has not changed. It's about the decisions that political people make when it gets to the election. I said before that it's only in politics and in sports, actually, football politics and political politics, that you find somebody is going into a ditch. The person who can save him is his enemy, political enemy. So he doesn't want to be saved. He wants to die. It's only in politics that you find that. I've never understood that about politicians. I've hung around them for the longest time, you know that. All of them, making certain decisions that will inure to victory can be particularly problematic. When for you, the researcher, or for the analyst, you stand outside and tell them that this is the way you should go. You should pick this man as your running mate. You win the election. They talk like that. They don't seem to. That's what has happened in Nigeria. So for the Nigerian young people and the youth who are crying about the system, it is about understanding compromises. It's very, very important. If these two had paired, there's a high chance that they could have won the election. But why couldn't they pair? There was concern about some rotational leadership, rotational presidency of some sort. Peter Obi believed that it was his time to lead. In fact, you have to agree that among the three candidates, in terms of the one with the freshness, was Peter Obi. Peter Obi was going to carry the narrative of any new voter and all of that was going to be Peter Obi. Later tonight, we'll be coming to understand the voter turnout situation in Nigeria, because we have been made to believe that the election had a high voter turnout. When Alhassan Bello comes, he'll be telling us that the election actually had a less than 30% voter turnout. How is that possible? 200 million Nigerians, 90 million were registered on the electoral roll. 24 something million cast their vote on Tuesday and Wednesday. Was it Tuesday, Saturday, and was it Saturday? Saturday and Sunday. They cast their votes on Saturday and Sunday. 24 million only. The entire Lagos state, how many votes were garnered? Only 1 million between the two candidates. Just about 1 million votes. Accra will be recording more votes than 1 million. So really, I'm not understanding that. But that's a conversation we'll have when Alhassan Bello joins us. So this is the analysis I want to end with. That let's look at this closely. For those of us in Ghana, we have been showing you the things that happen in Nigeria that happen in Ghana. Sometimes we don't look, but it happens. We think it won't happen, but it will happen. People have to start looking at choices and pairings and all of that. It's very, very important. You're getting into a crucial election. Peter Obi and Atiku Abubakar both must have themselves to blame tonight that they have not received the certificate of return from the Electoral Commission, that either of them have not received a certificate, or both of them together. The certificate has gone to the old man, Bola Tinubu, because the two of them refused to see eye to eye for the interest of Nigeria. If it was so bad that Nigerians didn't want Bola Tinubu to lead, if it was so bad that Obasanjo didn't want Bola Tinubu to lead, if it was so bad that all the churches in Nigeria, most of the churches, I have to say, did not want Bola Tinubu to lead, if it was so bad that most of our celebrated stars on the silver screen did not want Tinubu to lead, how difficult was it for these two men to talk together and be able to garner 13,000 votes, which they got as separate people? They got 13,000 as separate people. It meant nothing. It meant that the 38% Ghana of votes is going to rule Nigeria, it means that as much as 62 it will be percent did not vote for Bola Tinubu. 62% of Nigerians did not vote for Bola Tinubu. But Bola Tinubu will most likely be sworn in. He's already received the certificate of return. He'll be sworn in. Why? Because people refuse to listen and people refuse to talk to each other. These two men had been together in 2019. Unity is always very, very, very important. Unity for political purpose is always very important. Later tonight, I'll get you the classical definition of political parties, and you see it says in it that they are a group of men united by their joint endeavors, come together to do blah, blah, blah. I'll get you the full definition. So it's a lesson for all politicians, and all young people want to be politicians. It's always a push and pull. You win some, you gain some. You have to do the negotiation. When you take the decision that I'm walking away, nobody walks away to win. You always walk away to lose. You can make an impact, like Peter Obi has made an impact. No doubt about that. Peter Obi is my candidate for the election. He's made a major impact, but he's lost the election. He's not going to have executive power. Bola Tinubu will have it. Whether he's 70, whether he's 80, whether he's 95, whether he's 200, Bola Tinubu, all things being equal, he now has a certificate of return. He is the official president-elect of the Federal Republic of Nigeria because Obi and Atiku refused to speak to each other.